Hey everyone, just wanted to come on here and basically talk about storytelling guitar solos. Why do I use this title? I use this title because, to be honest with you, anytime you're doing a guitar solo, I notice throughout the years, of doing guitar solos, I've noticed that having a storytelling format is actually pretty key. It's actually, I use the word fundamental quite a bit, but this is definitely one of those things that you want to kind of keep in mind. I'm not so stuck on an approach that I'm telling you to, like, it's this way or nothing. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you should always have in mind storytelling anytime you're doing a guitar solo. Storytelling is probably one of the most powerful things you could know how to do, period, in life. Storytelling. If it can tell a story, more people will connect with it than not. Okay, now let's get started. So first, intro. Like, 3 parts of a story: intro, body, conclusion. I mean, that's pretty much it. Now, the intro is just that. It's introducing whatever's going to be spoken about. Okay, whatever the main story is about, it's introducing that. But it's not giving you the whole thing. It's sort of giving you a little bit and then pulling it back. The body is just the whole thing. It's going to give you a very formal approach at that point, and it's going to give you the full thing at that point. Okay, so I'm using very informal terminology or informal way of describing it. That's just kind of what I do. But the body is the whole thing, basically, and the conclusion is sort of recapping what the whole story was about. Okay, so the conclusion is going to give the whole story, maybe in a sentence or two, and then it's going to give some sort of a takeaway. All right. And then there's like a landing, so to speak. So it kind of takes your mind somewhere where there's like a launching pad. And then you've reached the altitude to where you can kind of coast a little bit. And then now within that body, there's sort of a climax. There's a little bit of tension. So you may reach some turbulence. All right. Go up a little bit, go down a little bit. Then it's time to land. So, I mean, that's the format: intro, body, conclusion. Or we could say intro, body, within the body, a climax, then conclusion. But toward the end, it's like the climax is toward the end. So what does this look like with guitar playing? Well, one way that it can look, because I don't think there's one way to really say this, is you can approach doing the guitar solo, the intro part, by just starting with one note, like 1 or 2 notes. Okay? Make it sweet. The body, you may introduce some very scale driven melodic sweetness. All right. But there's going to be some repetition, and there's going to be some patterns and things like that. Then when the conclusion comes, in that body, make sure you make it go up some. This is where you want to use higher notes and things like that. Okay. Potentially, whatever it calls from, whether you introduce distortion or whatever. Conclusion, this is where you slow it back down and you start to land the plane, but you do it in your playing. So that's just a rough explanation of how I'm superimposing the idea of storytelling into guitar solos. All right. So let's start this. All right. So this is a little riff. It's actually an Apple loop. Okay. It's an Apple loop, And the Apple loop is basically is playing something in the key of C. The key of C. And this is playing, if I think about it correctly, it goes. So that's what it sounds like it's doing to me. All right. I'm going to do a solo on top of that, and it's going to be a clean solo. I mean, I might do a little bit of overdrive, but I'm not going to like crank it up or nothing like that. But this is what I'm going to use, you know, in order to do it. All right. And I'll even use the metronome. You know, just to kind of get it, just so that you can hear it. All right. All right. So I'll keep the camera on my hands so that you can see what I'm doing. All right. Here we go. Maybe for beginners. So here's where the C is. Okay. That's the C major pentatonic. Now the A is in this as well. Okay. The relative minor. That's right there. And you could actually utilize this in guitar soloing, which is actually pretty common. So here we go. So here's the box between the 5th fret and the 7th fret on the D string. And let's say between the 5th fret and 7th fret on the G string as well. So for beginners, maybe you want to start there. All right, just sort of stick within that box. Maybe you want to go up to the 9th on that G string. So you can sort of play with that, how you want to play with that for a beginner. Now for intermediate. Intermediate is going to go, you know, more so full pentatonic, you know, and to be quite honest with you, you may even kind of get stuck in the pentatonic frame at first, okay? But I'm not mad at the journey, okay? We're all on a journey. So if we notice an intermediate player getting stuck at the pentatonic phase, don't get mad at them. That's where they are. Because they have to learn that first to know what to deviate from. So let's get into this pentatonic. All right. Let's start it back up. And I'm actually going to turn it down some. All right. So yeah, let's go back to my hand. And okay, pentatonic. Okay, that's very common. All right. So just that's between the 5th and 7th frets, but on the E and B string, you're going to go between the 5th and 8th fret on the B and E string. And then on the G and D string, the G, D, and A string, you're actually in that box. Okay. And then on the low E string, you're back to the 5th and 8th. All right. So just keep that in mind. But you can utilize that for soloing. This is the intro. And then let's open up the pentatonic. And then you go on to do more. All right, now let's go in more of like the advanced arena. still beginners and intermediates, you can catch on to this. All right. So I'm gonna sort of expand what I'm doing. All right. So all right. So now I'm going to start in the same area, but then I'm going to really incorporate the full storytelling format when I do this, okay? So, and it's going to be real simple at first. Here we go. We're going to do some bends. We still in the intro. Now let's start to get into the body. Climax. I guess the final part of the climax is when it does all the intricate stuff. Now we're gonna land it. Something like that. Now I know I tripped a little bit. I tripped a little bit, but the thing is, I try to do very polished videos, but at the same time, I like to reveal when I mess up too. All right, so just think about having that approach while doing solos, okay? And I noticed that loop was kind of off from my guitar a little bit. Keep the storytelling format idea in mind when you're doing your solos. Sort of approach it from a static place, then you got to get it moving, so you may want to just start with one note and hitting that repetitively. Or kind of pivot around one note, but then start to move it around, start to repeat some notes, start to repeat not just some notes, but some full phrases. So it goes from, I'm gonna put delay on. It goes from then you want to repeat notes. Now you want to repeat a phrase. Go a little higher. And just take it somewhere else. And then, acknowledge, not acknowledge, but, start to incorporate some patterns, like some more repeating phrases, but then open the phrase up. Okay. So repeat phrase and then open the phrase up to something that is more wide in melody, okay, and then you just start to explore, and it really is about the feel. I'm basically introducing something that has a little bit of format, but I don't want you to get stuck in the format either, okay? Because some people get stuck into doing the pentatonics, and then it's like just that. They're doing nothing but this. Yeah, yeah. What about something that feels a little better, you know? So, that's just my take on it, y'all. I'm talking, and that is the approach that I take. Okay. I very often take that, and however long or short it is, it kind of doesn't matter. If it's a very short solo, I do my best to incorporate that. And maybe in that sense, if it's a very short solo, maybe it's appropriate that I get into the body portion, okay? And then conclusion. And maybe the conclusion is more so just landing on one note. So if I can just get into it and it's just like, all right, Kashif, go for the solo. If that's the whole solo, that's my conclusion right there. It's just landing on that one note. And making sure you're in the right key and all that other stuff, okay? So, hey, utilize that approach. Storytelling guitar solos. All right. So that's where we are, and that's where I'm going to end. Love y'all. Peace.